Hey everybody, so today I just wanted to share something I wish I could be better at, and I'm guessing you wish you could be better at this too, and that is figuring out the right amount of planning before starting a project. So let me put it this way. I've noticed that sometimes I overplan, sometimes I underplan, and in either situation things seem to just be a lot harder and more expensive than they need to be. So let me give you an example of a time where I have planned things just the right amount and been successful. So before we were in this RV, we had a motorhome and a Jeep. And this is that Jeep. And what I want to show you is on the Jeep we had these LED lights. So we had the bar, we had the floods, we had the spotlights here up on the A-pillar. And I thought it'd be a really nice idea to be able to use the high beam switch on the steering column as an override for the LEDs, so I didn't have to manually flip the switch for each of those. Like if another car was coming up the trail or something, those lights are a little bit blinding. So master override was really nice. I didn't know how to do that. I've done a little bit of wiring stuff before, but I had to do a ton of research on YouTube. Started figuring out if anyone else has done projects like that, what kind of materials do I need, all that stuff, and ended up from all of that research drawing this schematic, which I'm actually pretty proud of. It shows the whole project. So I've got my switches over here, I've got the relays on this side wired to the lights, and I could see how everything is supposed to be routed and which pins everything is supposed to be connected to, and the project went great. I ordered all the materials I needed, I had just what I needed, sat down, did the whole project in an afternoon. Didn't have extra stuff, didn't have stuff that I was missing, didn't have to go to the hardware store. I just had everything ready to go, and yeah, pretty much set it up without any kind of mistakes. It was a lot of upfront planning, but a very, very smooth project. Let me give you an example of one I did recently that did not go so smooth. So on the RV, and this is pretty standard on a lot of RVs, there's a propane quick disconnect thing right there. So what that is just an easy way to tap into the RV's propane system, because the RV comes with some onboard propane that's used for the furnace and the oven and the stove. And you can see the propane tanks right there. So I thought, hey, rather than having to pull those tanks out every time I want to use the barbecue or I want to use this little outdoor propane fireplace we have, what if I just got a hose that could tap into that quick connect and then change the connection on the barbecue and the fireplace to work with that. So went on Amazon, bought some connectors that I thought would do the job, ordered it, they showed up, hooked it all together. Was missing a few connectors, so I ran to the hardware store, got some connectors, and when I finally flipped it on, there was just a trickle of gas. So come to find out, the propane at the tanks is very, very regulated, and there wasn't enough pressure to feed the stuff I was using. So decided to just run a dedicated unregulated hose from the gas tank. So I bought another hose and some other adapters to connect into the propane tanks. And then you would have thought that would have worked, but then the configuration was a little bit different at that point, and suddenly I was missing the wrong connector. Bottom line is I was missing the wrong connector, so I went and bought another connector, different brand, because I bought one locally. It was with COVID, and everything on Amazon was taking weeks to ship. The same brand, same size of a connector, or sorry, different brand but same size of connector, quick connect, wouldn't pass gas through each other. And it was inexplicable, just completely inexplicable. I couldn't figure out why gas wasn't flowing through the connector when it was connected together. I think it has to do with some slight tolerance. Anyway, so that didn't work, so I had to go order another piece. Bottom line is, by the time I was into this project, I had ordered probably 5 different orders on Amazon. I'd gone to the hardware store probably 10, 15 different times, and still didn't have this thing working. I'd driven out, 2 hours into town to Home Depot a couple times for this. Anyway, bottom line is it was just a mess. A lot of the problems I probably couldn't have anticipated up front, but I still made a mess of things even going in. And this kind of stuff happens all the time. Sometimes I'll plan a project, I'll go to Home Depot, buy stuff, come home, and I'll be missing pieces and I have to go back again. Or maybe I will plan something, go buy all the stuff, come back, and the fix is way easier than I thought, and because I didn't take the time to tear into it, I end up buying a bunch of crap I didn't need. So there just seems to be this balance between the right amount of planning ahead of time versus work. And it seems like there needs to be some sort of balance of jumping in and really orienting yourself to the problem before you do some planning. I think that's my theory, at least. And there's a lot of days like today where I don't follow through on that theory, and I discover things the hard way. But yeah, it's just a challenge, and I wish it would be, I wish it wasn't so hard to. It seems like you have to have a good intuition about how much is enough, because I've also seen a lot of stuff that I do where I spend way too much time planning something or trying to find just the right piece that saves me $5, and end up wasting hours and hours just on stuff that isn't necessary or even helpful to the final outcome. So I'd just be curious, if this is something that anyone else relates to, if you have problems with planning, trying to figure out the right balance, and if you have solved this, I would love to understand when your masterclass will be available, and I will sign up. Anyway, that's it. That's my little spiel for today. Just something I encountered as I was going through the process of trying to work stuff out. All right, we'll talk to you all next time. Peace.